Chris Winslow is the superintendent on the Board of Supervisors in Chesterfield from Clover Hill, and he joins us now this morning to talk about some of the budget issues and how Chesterfield is dealing with their fiscal year 2023 budget. Chris, I'm glad to have you here. What do we need to know?
Good morning, John. It's an honor to be with you this morning, and appreciate you having me on.
Oh, glad
Chesterfield County, for a long time, has been, I think, a conservatively run jurisdiction, and we have continued that tradition forward with what I think is shaping up to be a very good budget season, not only for those interested in keeping services in place, but also those who are interested in having some cuts. And so what we have really proposed is across the board 5 different areas where we're cutting taxes and or fees. To begin with, the real estate rate cut, which right now is shaping up to be at 92 cents, which will be the lowest on record in Chesterfield history.
Wow.
A $20 cut to the vehicle registration fee, a cost of living adjustment for our tax relief for the elderly and disabled program, which assists quite a number of people in Chesterfield, a growing number. We have eliminated the personal property taxes for vehicles at $1,500 or less, which affects 14,000 vehicles in the county, and raised the threshold for B-poll to $400,000. And what that means is that for the first $400,000 for small businesses in Chesterfield County, no taxes will be required. And so really what we've tried to do is spread the relief around and target those who own property, but also help those who may not have real property as well. And so really have a nice package together there.
Wow. These things, when you hear about a $20 cut or a couple of pennies, I think some people who may not pay a close attention to what they're paying every year think, oh, well, that doesn't sound like a lot. But you multiply it over a $300,000 or $400,000 house or a piece of property that's got a pretty big price tag on it, or times how many people are in Chesterfield. If you cut it by $20, you all are giving up a significant chunk of change.
We have 365,000 people, according to the census data, who live in Chesterfield. And as you point out, the sale prices of these homes, we have a median sale price now of $325,000, as we heard on Wednesday's meeting.
Right.
So, you're correct, and not just, it goes up from there, of course, but these pennies on the rate really do add up. Of course, they're escrowed for a lot of people, and you're right, they don't see them, but they will get that nice note from the mortgage company that says, your escrow needs to be adjusted, and here's what's going on.
Yeah. So let me play devil's advocate, because I'm sure there's some people who will hear this and think, oh my God, I guess I like the idea of getting money back, but what happens if things go south? Are you being reckless by not saving this money, by not putting this money in the rainy day fund, or spending it on something that in another period of time when there isn't a lot of cash on hand, you wouldn't be able to address it, but now you could?
So, and I think that's always a good question. We already in our financial policies require a rainy day fund to be in place. And we are one of the few localities in America, one of the few counties in America that has that AAA bond rating. So we have certain policies that we just keep in place. So if the shoe drops, as it were, we're prepared for anything that could come along. So we just keep that. We don't even we take that off the top, if you will, in terms of being able to provide services and keep things in place.
Well, I mean, it sounds like good money management to me, and one of the reasons, I'm not going to drag you into my fight with the city of Richmond. I'm sure you want to stay friendly with your neighbors and your colleagues across the lines, but I do think it's important for people to hear this type of mindset from Henrico County, from Chesterfield County, from some of the other counties, And then, without any prompting from me, listen to what you hear from other leaders in Central Virginia, and you make your own decision about who's being responsible in the way they're managing tax money and trying to encourage businesses to grow. I mean, that B-poll tax issue is huge when you're deciding where do we want to start, where do we want to open, what's the threshold where we can try to make a profit before we have to start giving things over to government. I hope people are listening carefully to this, because I think it's pretty important for them to understand who is being cautious and who's trying to build business in Central Virginia and job opportunities, and who doesn't really know what they're doing. So, Chris, I give you a big gold seal this morning, and I appreciate you coming to talk us through that. Thank you.
Well, thank you, John.